Alright, so in this one, we are going to be doing my Dragon Ball Legends mid-April top 10 tier list here. Not getting another one in April, I assume. The release of the next LF unit should be in 2 weeks. In 2 weeks should be the beginning of May, so we should see that being a thing, unless the 1% plats of Ma Jr. and 23 Ku and or launches Zenkai, because that's all three current guaranteed confirmed coming. This Tuesday reset upcoming, a Tuesday night into Wednesday, unless one of those is just a demon god, deity that just saves everything for Dragon Ball. I don't expect much. Though, listen, Ultra Janemba returned. So, Ultra Janemba, DKP would be a phenomenal trio. I'm just saying, if Ultra Janemba got a plat, I would not be surprised. That would also kind of make up for the lack of getting Ultras prior to anniversary. We would have got like at least one Ultra that we're not getting in April with that Ultra plat kind of fulfilling. But just going to talk about DKP here. I'm just going to say as well that he is not top 10. This character, he's kind of not even close. He actually is like Super Saiyan 3 Vegeta on initial release. He is striking the mold of not necessary. That's really the fine line that I'm walking with him. And obviously, I'm not talking about Dragon Ball, because Dragon Ball's not a real team anymore. It's trying to be. It will become one, I'm sure, within the next couple weeks before this campaign ends on May 7th. But for right now, that's not a real team. So we're talking about region /PO /leader slot, right? All right, cool. Let's think about that. I tried that Daima team. Pretty fun, but not really a real thing that's going to run around. And it's, well, double purple. Good luck fighting the yellows that can't coexist in the meta. Majin Ku, UMV Beast. That's not going to really be a thing that you're going to run, right? So there's that issue. And then PO. The issue with PO, as I already mentioned with Janemba, that could be a great Ultra plat and fulfill PO. But PO, you run, let's say, Turles, Cell, DKP, right? That's true you're thinking of? Same. The issue then stems, and I know people sometimes don't care about this, you can't get Turles' Ultra ability, because you're going to have Cell and Leader, because it's Android Ultra ability, you're not getting that anywhere. Then you run DKP, then you run Turles. Turles has to have movies, I believe it is, and you just can't make that work. You're going to miss Z-buffs with this character, you're just going to miss stuff, and Turles will do a lot less damage. Now, again, I know people don't care about Turles damage particularly, but I do, and just making Turles be so subpar for no reason at all, it just isn't a great setup. It's fine, it's workable, it's runnable, it's not bad, but it's not great. And even if you do run that setup, which is his best setup, all DKP does is stall for Cell, unless you're doing the rush. So, like, LF Rose on Zenkai. I know this is a very, very, hurting example to say LF Rose to DKP, but the example is that LF Rose on Zenkai was just a rush merchant. And DKP is kind of similar. I guess when he gets his neutral and his gauge, he's not that much of one. But I'm not seeing overwhelming DKP damage on strikes, on blasts. I guess on his blue, it's pretty good. His ultimate, from time to time, it could be pretty nice. Obviously, again, you do want that gauge fulfilled. If you don't have that, that's tough. RNG will play a factor because you don't really spawn infinite Dragon Balls with DKP. It's more you gain them back with this character, or you don't lose them with this character. You get both of that. But to spawn the Dragon Balls, well, you're still in the RNG fest of path to power of any unit that's relying on Dragon Ball gain to get their kit to be better. So this unit's just not really doing too much besides Rising Rushing, and then, okay, Ultra Cell, you come in and do everything else. Okay, then we'll go back to DKP because they swapped to a color that I need to, have Cell not be in against. Like, it just isn't him doing much. So, he's only here to discuss him. He's not in this top 10. He's, quite frankly, IT Goku's probably above him. Ultra Rose's probably above him. Ultra Super Saiyan 2 Gohan's probably above him. Is there more? I mean, there might be even more than that. Just scrolling down here real quickly just to take a gander. MZ is above him. Super Trunks might be above him. Green Diamond Goku's definitely above him. Yeah, it's not a good look. Again, this is what Vegeta had. Vegeta was not even considered a top 10 unit. He was considered one of the worst greens of any of those premium greens that we had released. The thing with DKP, it's a little different, though it's not saving him here. It's at least he's not fighting 10,000 other units of the same color. he is meant to be that best offense purple. And compare him to these purples here in offense mannerism, yeah, he's probably better than Tamagami. Yeah, he's probably better than Doo. And Go on Trunks, well, they're more blue, so I don't really compare them. But yes, he's one of the better purple offense units, but there's no real fight. Doo and Tamagami are not meant to do that, so... DKP, again, we'll see it, how this changes when we get more Dragon Ball buffs. We saw this with Diamond Super Saiyan 3 Vegeta. And I'm sure he will gain value. I'm sure he will end up being top 10 by the end of this campaign. I'm sure that'll happen. But will he be as powerful as Super Saiyan 3 Vegeta is probably considered a top 3 unit right now, right? Is he going to have that glow up? I'm really hesitant on that. I'm really hazy on that premise. It would have to be that this Kid Ku or Tien or whoever it is, LF, has to be like... They have to be bare minimum top 2 in the game just with everything in their kit. They have to have that. Or they have to be, like, top 1 on Dragon Ball. Like, that's what has to happen for DKP to be, like, top 5 contender after that LF drops. And I just don't know if that's going to happen. I'm not that confident. But Diamond Forku, you know, he's pretty good as well. So maybe he can, maybe he can't. We will see. DKP, get the hell off my list. You ain't making this shit. Number 10 actually is tied. It's actually a top 11 list here. With it being Tamagami number 3 and Mr. Majin Buu. Majin Buu, again, he's just annoying. I really don't find too much problem with this unit. Even with his team paralyzed, trust me, I run into it. It annoys the hell out of me. Yes, correct. But what I also always end up happening with his team paralyzed, and maybe it's just, I guess, making it not much of a big deal to me, because Ku's paralyzed and all that shit he can do is much more annoying, is that let's say they catch me in a combo. Okay, well, that combo is going to go so long because Diamond Forku, Vegeta can extend pretty well. And I probably won't lose a unit. I'll probably get a lot of units decently low to have health and stuff like that if I do pop his endurance. But after that combo ends, that team paralyzed most likely is done. It most likely is. At least most part of it is. You know, a good 80% of it is. And that's all Dude does. But because Diamond is such a good team, I would consider him top 10, but I would also have Tamagami be better, just because Tamagami, I think, has more utility sake. If I'm fighting a Tamagami compared to a Doo, while Doo can annoy me more with that paralyzed shit, that's later. Tamagami throughout the entire match, sealing my green, sealing my rush, especially sealing your green. Sealing your green is very fucking annoying in this game, as well as just having that great sustainability. I run into Tamagami being more of an annoyance in my life than Doo. While Doo is annoying with the team paralyzed, again, I get caught in a combo, okay, I'll deal with it, I'll move on. You know, this Diamond user got the free combo for himself. He finally got a combo after 80 counts because I popped his endurance unit's endurance here. Great, have fun with that. But then I move on from that, and then I kill the team because one unit's already dead, and Daima doesn't really flow that well unless they have a full team roster alive. Fun fact about Daima, if you can get at least one drop combo with a powerful unit, you most likely will beat that team. Talking about a UMV and Ultra Cell. Talk about it further once we get to those units. But Daima is strong, but I think there's a lot of goodness against Daima. Also want to mention, Daima Miniku could be right here as well. All 3 of them could be right here. I want to keep it to 2 units in this, you know, tied tier thing that I can have at the bottom. But Daima Miniku, right there. Honestly, you could put him above Doo, and I would be fine with that. Like, perfectly fine with that. But, continuing on, number 9 actually is going to be Legends Limited Super Saiyan 3 Goku. While this unit is very tedious still, obviously, you can see where his faltering is coexisting. Obviously, you do have his allies. Yes, he does have UMV as an ally, so you can't run Super Saiyan 3 and UMV still. That is a thing. But who is that third? Who is going to flow within him? Who is even going to let him get his ramp up if Ku is going to disrupt it while he's trying to get his ramp up to Super Saiyan 3? Who is going to let him pop his infinite green cards at Tamagami sealing it? Who's going to let him continue comboing if Doo is going to have cancel buff effect in his kit and then the paralyze on the team? There's just goodness that's good against Super Saiyan 3, and not having offense neutral that is just even accessible with this character, because both these purples cancel buff effects on big moves. Super Saiyan 3 has blue card neutral, it would be canceled. Having no accessibility to that neutral effect as a green is just a hurtful time. You can see there's 2 other greens here, and both of them can neutral. Actually, one of them cannot be canceled neutral, while the other doesn't, but still, he's on Daima, so it makes sense why he's up top, or at least placed in a tier list here. But Super Saiyan 3, that is where his flaws start to show. Again, he's going to infinite combo in Super Saiyan 3. He's going to be annoying, but he's not going to do his job of, like, he's infiniting into killing. He's just going to infinite you to annoy the shit out of you. It really is these bottom tiers being more annoying units than being overwhelmingly good. Yes, there's good annoying units in the top tiers, but it's more so these three being kind of the pack of, I can do stuff, but I'm not really going to make a difference in the match and that much of an impact. And that's what they are here. Just good units, but not fantastic units, at least in this current meta. Then number 8, a little speed run here going on with how we're describing. But number 8, I do think, is Mr. Ultra Beast Gohan. Now, I don't think his value really goes anywhere. What really happens with this unit is more so that how Daima works is you want to get that snipe potential, and I guess it's more so how you're playing in the match, how you could value Beast. You know, if you're dominating, you're decimating, and then you get caught in like 2 combos, so you have a special beam cannon ready, but you're also still dominating, and you know, they have half health on like 2 of their characters. Diamond Super Saiyan 4 Goku's kind of lingering around that indestructible area because you got him low, because you did good combos. Beast looks a lot more effective because special beam, right? You could snipe out somebody else that's not Goku and waste it on indestructible. Or he could look ass because you're getting clobbered the entire match. You get your special beam cannon, but then you do a drop combo and then they swap to Diamond 4 Ku. Or you just do it raw and you kind of catch them, but that doesn't kill because they're full health. So it's kind of mixy for Beast. It's not bad particularly, but it's just in scenario play, it can be a lot better for him, or it can't, because that is always how special beam would work. If you are winning and then you special beam, well, you're kind of just over-tuned at this point. But if you're losing special beam, you still have a comeback chance. It's just that you still have to win some altercations to get special beam to be its max effectiveness. And if you can't get that, you're most likely going to lose the match with Beast. And that's always been the case. It's just more relevant, I guess, now because Indestructible. Though even then, when Beast first dropped, Turles was still existing, which is a similar mechanic of Indestructible. So, yes, Beast is good, but Beast is also in a setting of, oh, well, that wasn't ideal. Beast kind of sucked there because you were getting dominated the entire match and then you couldn't really do much anyways, so it just went to shit anyways. But Beast still works, just not ideal in the current meta. Again, doing a good job, just not doing a perfect job, I guess you could say. Coffee break time here, with it being number 7 of God Goku. God Goku is number 7 for me here. Again, I think God Goku has pretty good value. You know, if you are considering Ultra Cell being a top tier unit, I think God Goku does his role well. That duo of God Goku and UMV is very powerful. I think it's a little bit underrated. I don't see... Actually, I am starting to see UMV a little bit more, unfortunately. But it is a good duo. UMV and God Goku, the double AoE green. God Goku gets the green from main. UMV gets his green card from his blue card with gauge fulfillment. The neutral accessibility between the two does work very well. And even more so than all that, God Goku has uncancelable neutral. So, get that gauge pop. And, there's even more to him, but get that gauge pop, uncancelable neutral, spam those strikes, spam those blasts, beat those purples down to their core, and make them regret their existence. And more so than that, you can play around Doo's Paralyze with God Goku. Question of how? Good question. God Goku's gauge would cancel the Paralyze. So if you were to save it, you can do this. It's not the hardest thing, it's not the easiest thing, but it is consistent enough to where I can manage it, at least when I've used God Goku, because I use him a lot. You can manage to where you save his gauge for that setting, right? Whether you pop the main to get the gauge higher, whatever you do, you save the gauge for when you're going to pop that endurance, because you can see the health bars in this game, right? It's great. And then, boom, God Goku himself will not get paralyzed from Majin Doo's endurance pop. Wow, great, fantastic. You saw a little bit, you got double cargo speed because your gauge just popped. You do a little bit of combos with boom, boom, and then that paralyze really doesn't even impact you in the match. Now, it's not going to be every match, but you can make that be at least 40 to 50% consistent to be happening to where Doo's biggest effect and biggest impact is nullified by God Goku, which is a fantastic thing, and we all need to see that because we all hate Majin Doo. So God Goku obviously does well against purples, does well against blues. I don't really see much negative to him. Well, yes, there is a situation where you are going to run into Ultra Cell from time to time. I think Ultra Cell's non-commonality of play also is benefiting Dooogote, obviously. The same thing with UMV, right? Cell is not that common because Daima is so common. And even if he was common, there'd be no problem with you running Gohan, Trunks, UMV, Dooogote, and having that safety there so Dooogote doesn't have to feel alarmed. Because Cell, in most matches, will decimate every team. But, at least if you have that safety, you'll be a little bit better off. So, Dooogote, number 7. Doing a great job, doing great aging things for himself, and just having pretty nice assets in the current meta for what we have to deal with, right? Obviously being the type advantage to Diamond Fork is also a great thing, and it's just really a great time for him to flow around. Number 6, though, speaking of them, is actually going to be LF Gohan Trunks. While I do think they are good, I think they are a bit over-talked about, or overrated, I guess is just the outright correct word. Because I was going to say overused. No one's using this unit. Again, I don't always equate unit value to unit usage. I think that's a bit silly because people aren't using Ultra Cell. Well, Ultra Cell is still a top 3 unit, so that wouldn't really make too much sense, right? Right. Okay, awesome. But Gohan Trunks, I just don't see the necessity for them as well. Again, this is more stems to how you are queuing, and how I'm queuing, and how most people are queuing is Daima. You don't need Gohan Trunks versus Daima. You need Gohan Trunks versus Cell, for sure. The safety, the mechanism of living your life. That is where you kind of need them. Understandable. But Cell being less common, and again, this isn't a strike at Cell. Matter of fact, I think Cell is honestly underrated to a degree. Pretending like he's not good against Daima is a silly thing that people are doing. But it's more so, if I'm not running into the character that's giving me the issue, then I don't need to run this character. Gohan Trunks aren't helping me leagues and bounds beyond against Daima. So yes, they're good. Yes, they're still good enough. Yes, they're still great. They're number 6 here, and aren't they the first unit after Legends Fest that happened? Like, that's great. That's fantastic. They're about to be this 5-month threshold, and they're top 6. Awesome. But do they need to really be in my match? No. If they're in a match, are they going to be the most significant impact thing ever? Probably not. Maybe the second most. And that's, again, not a bad thing. It's just the necessity for this usage was much higher when Ultra Cell was the only thing running around. When you had to run a safety because Ultra Cell was dominating your lifestyle. Well, now, that's not the case. Ultra Cell's not the only one that's really good right now. So what happens? Gohan Trunks become less needed. And that's what they are here. Fine unit, great unit, but less needed. So, less usage. So, less ranking. I kind of think that's how it flows. That's how I flow with it. And that's why I'll keep them at right there. 4/5, I think, is a tied tier here, with it being a Majin Ku and, yes, wow, I just realized they're both Majin. Majin Ku and a Majin Vegeta. Let me explain UMV. I will have it where it is Ku above UMV, but if you want to swap them, that's the point of tied tiers. You could swap them, and I'd be agreeable with that. But UMV, he is the perfect answer to Daima. I know people don't like UMV, but people also hate Daima right now, so it's like, pick your poison. But he's the perfect answer to Daima. Again, him and Daima, you know, Green Goku, God Goku, those kind of 3 together. Again, if you're not scared of Ultra Cell and you want to run a team, that trio and that 3 just in general together, or even as solo units, are all very good right now. UMV, though, with that trio, or just in a general sense, is a very good answer. The whole point of Daima is they sub-count manip heavy, and they're reliant on it. That's really the ticket there. They're reliant to sub-count manip Daima. So what do you want to do? Manipulate their sub-counts. Awesome. UMV enters. Sub-counts are manipulated. UMV, you do a drop combo green card. Just do one. Just try it in your life. And that works. You are most likely going to kill a Daima unit. This character's snipe potential, obviously, is right there. If you're going to fight most likely the best team in the game, or at least debatable best team in the game, Majin Ku, Super Saiyan 3 Vegeta, and Super Saiyan 4 Dooogote, let's say you get a setting, right? Majin Ku's in, Majin Ku enters. Oh no, he sealed your main ability. But what happens if you drop combo green card, and then you knew Majin Ku was going to enter? Boom! That main ability seal, dead. Guess what happens after that? You do the ultimate. Guess what happens there? You kill somebody. Guess what happens there? You're going to fight Super Saiyan 3 Vegeta and Super Saiyan 4 Dooogote, and you're going to win They can't. Once Daima loses a character, that's the point of Daima. They don't lose characters. But if you have characters that manipulate to where you can make them lose characters pretty frequently, whether it be of DKP Rush, I guess, or UMV doing this snipe potential, that is the point of it, though. You just end up destroying their entire foundational premise. And UMV just does that to a perfect degree. I don't think there's a better unit to do that than UMV. While Diamond Green Goku does that, he has the LF Cooler thing, where you have to land the cards first, then the subcounts are up. While he is going to do impeccable burst damage, that Green Diamond Goku for sure, much more than UMV, you have to get something going for that to start, right? UMV is just enter, be stupid, enter, be stupid, lock in, kill, match over. And that's what happens every time you use UMV. If you use UMV right now, you will have a cakewalk against Daima. While I do think Daima is a very good team, it is not that uncounterable. This is the counter to Daima. I think Cell's good against Daima. I think UMV is good against Daima. As characters that aren't on Daima, they both do amazing work against Daima. Cell, we'll talk about more as we go further. And then Majin Ku here. Annoying little guy, man. I literally had a match yesterday where someone got a feint on me with a blue card. They clicked their main and did ultimate to try to double feint me. Like, that is how annoying he is, the Infinite Vanish. We know how good Majin Ku is. I probably underrated him first time around, saying he was like, what, 8? I think 8? Yeah, probably 8. Yeah. And I kind of underrated him at that point. I did underrate him at that point. But now, you know, all we've really learned from playing within these few weeks of since Blue Diamond 4Q dropped to DKP dropping is not how good DKP is, because we can't tell that yet. We're waiting for his potential to be like unleashed, essentially. But more so, what we've realized is how fucking annoying these Daima teams can be. And yes, every one of Daima would gain more value because the realization of that, the noticeability of how good Daima is in Majin Ku. You know everything he does. I don't need to reiterate it. I don't want to speak the nastiness that I have in my mind of Majin Ku. So he's number 4. Good job for him. I hope he dies in a fire and burns alive, but, you know, good job for him for now. I hate this character right now. This is easily the most hated character for most people in the game right now. And I am on board with ya. Now, let me explain 1 through 3. You can see it's 1/3, right? So that means anyone could be anywhere. It's not the horizontal, it's a dash. It's different. My whole thing is right now I'm just going to put them up here, and this is not ordered. This is not ordered because I do not believe this character is number 1, Mr. Super Saiyan 4. But I think right now any of these 3, maybe even include Majin Ku. Maybe if you want to, sure, go for it. Who cares? But I'll keep these 3. Can all be argued number 1 through 3. Now, me personally, I'm going to put, again, that it's not ordered, but if you were to twist my arm and say, put them in the order you could understand them most, sure, that's exactly what I'll do. And I would say this. I think Ultra Cell is great against Daima. I think Ultra Cell, people won't, I feel like this is not really firm concept that's like graspable, but just hear me out. How I just explained to UMV, do a drop combo green card, you know, get around the Ku main ability seal, get around the annoyance disrupt, and sure, you'll have a great time. Just do, if you have Cell, if you fight against Cell, and if you fight a competent one, or you are competent and running him, if you get just one drop combo with this unit, or one predictable situation for this character, Cell destroys Daima. I don't think it's understood, I can't speak, understood how well Cell can do against Daima. I'm aware that he's disadvantaged to Daima 4Q. I'm with you on that. But individually, and even the teams he could flow on, because he has a lot of teams, you know, whether it be Future, whether it be Leader Slot, you know, who is stopping me from running God Goku, Cell, and Gohan Trunks? Who's stopping me, right? Nothing's stopping me from running that, just as an example team there. Who's stopping me from running Super Saiyan Vegeta, God Goku, and Ultra Cell? Nothing there, right? I could just do that shit for all day. Doesn't fucking matter. Cell has so many teams. Cell has even stats. Cell has armor break as well, which, yeah, Diamond 4 could kind of circumvents that, but it's a 3v3 game. 3v3, so not everyone has nullify armor on every single attack like Diamond 4 does on his blues and ults. Cell does very well against every team in the game. When I fight Ultra Cell, and I'm not running Daima, or I even am running Daima, Ultra Cell can still end up dominating a match with literally no problem. It is very easy for this character to just take over if you get one drop combo. If you get one setting of, I'm using Ultra Cell, I predicted your Majin Ku coming in, because that's the whole premise of Daima is not that they are this impenetrable godly force. While they're amazing, while they're great, the whole point is subcounts, subcounts, subcounts. That means they're going to be swapping a lot. If you predict the swaps, and every person in the country that's running Majin Ku is swapping Frame Zero into Majin Ku because its disrupt is so good, you predict the swap, you let Ultra Cell do his job, do his work, you can easily, very easily, play around the annoyance of Daima with Ultra Cell. I think he's phenomenal right now. I think there's a lot of downplay on him, and I just don't think it makes much sense. Now, Super Saiyan 2 Vegeta, I guess I'm going to explain this backwards, but Super Saiyan 2 Vegeta, I think it has more of a premise and, well, overall showing in the match. If you are using Daima, let's say again you're running Ku, Super Saiyan 2 Vegeta, Daima 4 Ku, you're always going to be having Super Saiyan 2 Vegeta being your main damage dealer, right? That's awesome. Amazing. But that's the whole point. The whole premise is that who is going to be winning you the match? Vegeta is. Damage is wins you the match, right? Obviously, having safety and living is Diamond 4 Ku's specialty. He's doing that. But damage and safety wins you a game, right? More damage because you need to damage to win. And that's what Vegeta shines in. I think that's just overwhelmingly more powerful. Like, if I'm in a match and I'm fighting that trio, Diamond 4 Ku's entering the fight and he's doing a quarter, maybe half at peak damage of Super Saiyan 2 Vegeta, and that's just not enough for me to validate Super Saiyan 4 Diamond Goku above Vegeta, because while Diamond 4 Goku is giving you the safety and giving you the mechanisms to live against, let's say Ultra Cell, yes, amazing, but again, I need to see my units doing damage, and Diamond 4 Goku, for just lack of better terms, doesn't do that much damage. Now, to explain Diamond 4 Goku, this unit is good. He's great. But I have beef with this unit. Again, I have said it a few times now. God Goku, just an example, or even IT Goku. Both these units can get uncancelable neutral in their kits consistently. God Goku on his gauge, poppage there. And then IT Goku on his setting of he pops green, uncancelable neutral for I believe it is 3 counts. Awesome for them. This Daima 4 Ku, he is running up against greens. At least 3 here, if not more, if you want to consider more. And he has 0 uncancelable neutral. The problem with that is God Goku cancels buff effects. Even another example, Super Saiyan 3 Goku cancels buff effects. So if he's ever in a setting where he has to use a blue card or use his ults, he's in last man, whatever, he is never neutral. This unit has no clutch factor against the green. And I'm not saying he needs to be an oppressive demon god to one-shot a green unit when he's last man standing. No, 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 no. But I would prefer, and I would have liked, for his individuality's sake, where he is having a neutral setting of gauge fulfilled. Okay, last man standing, his blue card's neutral. Okay, ultimates when last man standing, or just in general, are neutral. I would have preferred if those are a thing, and I'm saying cannot be canceled neutral, because if he's ever in a green setting, let's say it's God Goku versus Super Saiyan 4 Diamond Goku, this unit's last man standing, he can't win. He just doesn't win. He will never win. Cell himself has cancel buff effect within his kit. UMV himself has cancel buff effect within his kit. These units that are flowing throughout pretty frequently now, at least trying to, UMV much more than anybody else trying to make a come up again, they will not die to this character in a 1v1 setting of, okay, well, here's this opponent gonna raw ult me. They're not gonna kill me because they can't kill me because the cancel buff effect is there. And even more so than that, I'm type advantage because I'm using LF God Goku as an example. I just wish this unit had more offense prowess. Again, I'm not asking for him to outdamage Super Saiyan 3 Vegeta, but I'm also asking for him to do something that's giving me a setting of I want to use Down 4 Ku when he's not last man standing to do damage. You never have that kind of mental debate going on right now, unless it's obviously against the red unit. But for the most part, there's only one red here, and again, he's very uncommon to run into. You're never having that debate, though. You're always going to say, oh, I'm going to use Ku's blue card to get this feint chance, or I'm going to use Vegeta's infinite, spawnage of cards that he has there for the 5 cards that he has, and then go to Ku after that. Or you'll pivot swap to Goku. You are not going to Goku for damage. And again, I don't need it to be otherworldly. I don't. But I need a setting that validates me going into Goku. And it's like, okay, his blue card is neutral because, and cannot be canceled neutral because his gauge is filled. Boom, he could do this blue card on God Goku, and it's worth going to him, right? I need that. I needed that. He doesn't have that. So I just think he's a bit below the par. While he is obviously making core Daima and making Daima as safe as they are, he is not having that offense prowess that is a bit more needed than you would anticipate that wouldn't be needed, because you don't have that much offense on Daima. Realistically, look at this team here. Ku can do some decent damage. Vegeta is the damage. And then Daima for Ku, well, I just explained it. He doesn't do that much damage, at least in a vacuum of damage settings. And again, his last man standing does become an issue of he can't clutch up against certain units. If there's a green, I'm not saying he needs to just kill the green outright and just murder them like Prime FSK last man standing. He doesn't need that. But he needs to be more competent against the green if his premise of life is utility and last man. One of those two things, he doesn't do well enough. The last man part. The utility, fine. The last man part, he does not do well enough. So what's going to happen? He's probably going to fall off a cliff when Diamond starts falling down, and this unit won't even be seen. So that's unfortunate reality, but that's where I see right now. Again, 1 through 3, I will re-explain, is not being, yes, Cell's number 1. No, if I want Cell number 1, he would be in a different goddamn tier. It's just that these 3 units can all understandably be number 1 in my eyes, but I'm not going to have Daima Forku number 1, so I'm going to have it this order of 1 through 3, and that's just how it's going to flow. Again, it's not just Cell Undisputed number 1. All 3 of them can be argued it. I'm just not preferentially putting Daima Forku number 1 for the reasons I just stated. And the maybe glaze of Cell, sure, let's say that's the case as well. But this would be my tier list. 1/3 or -3 will be Ultra Cell, Legends Limited Super Saiyan 3 Vegeta, and Legends Limited Daima Super Saiyan 4 Goku. 4/5 is going to be Majin Ku and Ultra Majin Vegeta there. Number 6 is Legends Limited Gohan Trunks. Number 7 is Legends Limited God Goku. Number 8 is Ultra Beast Gohan. Number 9 is Super Saiyan 3 Legends Limited Goku. And number 10A/10B is going to be Tamagami number 3 and Majin Buu. What do you guys think of my top 10 tier list of mid-April? And I'll see you guys in the next one.